This is the We Are ND Nation podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas. With me always is Dennis Stover. And on today's show, we'll be recapping number 10 Notre Dame's last-minute 21-14 victory at Duke. We will name our player of the game. What to expect this week at Louisville, Kentucky to play an undefeated number 25 Cardinals team. We will play Name That Former ND Player with Dennis. But we got to start off with our guest. He's a friend of the program, or as my buddy, not buddy, but as Pat McAfee would say, the program, running back who played for legendary head coach Lou Holtz. He was the MVP of the 1994 Cotton Bowl, which was a 24-21 victory over Texas A&M. In that game, he rushed 26 times for 138 yards and became the first running back in Notre Dame history to gain at least 100 yards in 7 consecutive games. Welcome to the program, our two-time ever guest.
Second time.
Lee Becton.
Yes.
What's up, man?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
It is a
Thank
pleasure.
you so
it's
much.
a pleasure to be here with you guys.
And you know,
Pleasure to have you again.
Yeah,
As one of my top 3 favorite, if not top running back of all time at Notre Dame for me personally. So this is another wonderful honor.
Well, I hope as I get older that I can make it into the top, and there's no question about it.
Exactly. Well, if you come out and beat SC on the next game, yes, you will be.
I was gonna say, do you have any?
You still got eligibility left, don't you?
Yeah, can you suit up anymore?
Hey, look, I got about 2 plays left. They better
all
be
we
close
need.
to the goal line.
That's it.
That's all you need.
Just get you under and do the butt push as the Eagles do. There you go.
Yeah,
You will make it.
that's it.
So, first game of the year, you were in Ireland with your Holtz's Heroes. How did that trip go for you? I mean, you hit the Guinness place. I mean, you were all over the place. How did you like that trip?
It was an amazing trip. Ireland is definitely just a special country. I plan on actually going back just to visit because I had such a great time. Got to play 2 awesome golf courses over there. And the people were just so inviting, so amazing. The game was electric. You would have thought we were playing at it was a home game with the crowd that was there. Notre Dame definitely showed out. Such a great time.
So my girlfriend Heather wanted to ask, how was your first sip of real Guinness out of, the Guinness place? Since you've met her, you know who she is. She wanted to know this question.
It was unbelievable.
Okay.
I've had Guinness here before, and I've heard people say when you have Guinness in Ireland, it's different. Well, they are 100% correct. It tastes different. It's just way more refreshing than what we have here. Because I don't drink Guinness here, but I'll drink it there.
Okay.
I have to go to Ireland now.
Exactly. And that's on my bucket list.
If you like Guinness, you have to go and have it there. It's absolutely, it's fantastic.
Unreal.
All right. So then next time Notre Dame goes, I will definitely try to make that trip. That's 8 years from now or something. Well, hopefully we'll see.
I think it's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't announced it yet. Dennis, do you have any questions for Lee right now? Anything to start off the show?
No, he answered that one. I'm sure everything else is going on. You were talking about your golf game earlier before we started hitting the air. Are you going to try to get some in before it gets cold again?
I think that ship has sailed. I can't go out there and play when it's under 60 degrees. And I think it's going to be, tomorrow we still got a high of 61, but that's just a little too close to 60 for me. So I think unless I travel somewhere, I think my golf clubs are going away for a little while.
Okay.
All right. I got one more for you. So obviously this is about a week or so old, and you saw what Ryan Day reacted and said about Lou Holtz. What was your reaction when you saw that? Or
my first reaction was, guy, you're better than that. That's not necessary.
Exactly.
It's not necessary. You just won a very hard fought game, and the one thing you did is you took the focus away from that great win that your team just had and made it about you. So that it's just unfortunate that that was the storyline and not the game.
Yeah, he didn't even say anything. That was the first thing he said.
He said nothing about the game.
Yeah,
nothing at all.
Afterwards, and he said, "Lou Holtz, where's Lou?" The first thing he said was, "Where's Lou? I want to know where Lou Holtz, what he thinks right now." And Catherine Tappan, that's all I could think about is her face at Port. She was like, and then he proceeds to say it's something about Ohio versus the world, which is ridiculous because you might have been one play away from the national title game last year. Because I mean, the Georgia-Ohio State game was better than the national title game. So
yeah, that it was.
I mean,
just crazy.
That's why I sent you that article earlier in this week, because it's getting very wrestling WWE like with these coaches. I know you got to get hype and motivate your players before, but there seems to be underlying tones for some of these coaches. It's whether it's I don't know. It just seems very childish, like Lee had said. They're better than that. They should be, right? They act like they've been there before.
Well, not only that, but act like a leader rather than crying over what some 86-year-old former coach said who hasn't coached in 20-something years.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it was just for me, it was just unfortunate to his players and the program that they, like I said, they just won a phenomenal game. It was the game was great, and now all the headlines were what Ryan Day said.
What Ryan Day said.
Yeah.
All right.
Just not a good look.
Yeah. So let's move on from that and let's get to last week's game or this past week's game. So obviously Notre Dame won 21-14 with a great drive in the final minute that actually was probably what they should have done against Ohio State. So again,
5 yards. Yeah, they had no problem. I didn't see a screenplay. They just keep giving it to 7 and 12.
So I got to go to Lee first. What was your first reaction after that game was over? Because at one point I literally thought the game was over. I stopped watching it and then kind of came back with 3 minutes left. So what was your assessment?
My assessment was that you don't overthink things at the end of the game. If you've been successful at doing something, your team is excited, everyone's energized. Don't overthink it. You saw a team that never gave up, for one. Two, got energized by each other. That was the most emotion I've seen from that team all season. And look what happened. They went out, drove the ball down the field. Some guys made some miraculous plays to keep the drive going. But that's what you want. That's what you want to see. You want to see that fight. You want to see that fight every play. I think that is going to propel them for the upcoming games.
So was it a 4th and 18 that they had?
4th and 16.
4th and 16, where Hartman just took that ball and ran. I thought he was going to get clocked, but man, did he just barrel his shoulder in and just went forward. So it was just awesome that he was able to do that. Dennis, what was obviously you and I were texting all during the game. What was your assessment after the game was over?
It'll be really nice when this team doesn't have a letdown and because they played almost I don't want to say a perfect game. They left points on the field, Ohio State, but still the defense played so well outside of the last drive of the game. And then this week, it's like, all right, we clean it all up. Your signal for 11 guys, 10 guys, make sure, count properly. But 12 penalties?
Oh, yeah.
Are they the fucking Raiders?
Oh,
I just 12 penalties. So again, that's what I was upset about with coaching. he could, and I think even Marcus Freeman said it. They didn't practice so much for loud, and I
You
mean,
mentioned that, yeah.
first drive of the game, first series of the game, he has 2 false start penalties, 2 snap infractions. 12 penalties is unacceptable at Notre. I for any football team, but especially for Notre Dame. I mean, they're a little more disciplined than that. I don't know. I just that was not good.
And like you said, they did leave points on the field by missing.
It should have been 24-0, honestly.
Yeah, it was.
They seemed a little more conservative. They did score on their first drive. So, and then the defense played lights out and stopped them. I mean, they really shut them down that first half, Duke. I don't think Duke scored. And I don't know why he just didn't keep I don't know, maybe they weren't able to cycle in all the receivers that they have been the last couple of weeks because they were missing some guys.
Yep.
But still, I mean, tight end was always open. And last I checked, Holden Stace is still playing too. So tight end was always open.
Well, talking about that, you had Mitchell Evans, who had 8 catches, 134 yards. And we didn't do our player of the game. Dennis, did you have a player of the game that you picked?
Howard Cross.
Okay, he was mine too, but I also had Mitchell Evans, so I had dual players of the game. So
you want to talk about play of the game? Sam Hartman and that 4th and 16. That was crazy.
Well, would it be that, or would it be the 30-yard touchdown run? Because I mean,
coin flip,
took it left and then went right and just kind of belted.
Coin flip. Then it's either one. Yeah.
And Lee, did you have a player of the game, or were we kind of all in agreement?
You know, my player of the game would have been Mitchell Evans, and the reason is when our receivers, because I was at the game, and
nice.
our receivers weren't creating separation, so we couldn't get the ball to them.
Okay,
and so. And then sometimes they would be, if Duke was in zone, they would run through the zone, or because when you're in zone, there's a window, and they would run through the window. But Mitchell Evans was able to get open, and so you got a tight end that picked up the slack, where and yes, we were out a couple guys, so I think that did affect us. And he picked up the slack in a big way. So for me, that's why he was for me, he was my player of the game.
And he caught literally everything.
That's a good one. Yeah, he had some great. He one-handed. He's nice. He's real.
What year is he? Is he a junior?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
So we still got another year of him. I'm going to throw a few little stats out there. You had Riley Leonard was 12 of 27 for 134 yards passing, 1 touchdown.
Hey, yeah, okay, Lee, is he because people are high on him, and yeah, he's an athlete, he makes play, but I think Mel Kiper has him like the 5th best QB. Is he good
overall?
Lee? Is he that good, Lee? You saw him, okay. So you saw him play. I mean, yeah. He hasn't that
high. Look, he
I love Lee just going, what?
Yeah.
He is a really good athlete.
Right.
The kid is and bigger than that, he's a gamer. He's a great competitor. But to me, he is not the 5th best quarterback or the 17th best player in college football. He's there's things that he does well. There's things he doesn't do well, which is with every player. But the consistency that he delivers the ball, for me, just isn't there to be ranked that high. There
you go.
It's like sometimes they'll look at quarterbacks and see, they've got all these physical tools, and you can develop some of these other things, and maybe that's why he's ranked that high. But there are some things that can't be taught. You can't teach, the timing routes and different things like that. You can work on mechanics and stuff like that, but there's a clock in your head that you have to know of when I need to release this ball before that receiver gets open. And that's not an easy thing to get.
Right.
So still speaking of Leonard, he had 18 carries for 88 yards, and Duke's offense overall, 40 carries for 189 yards and 4.7 yards per carry.
A lot of that was the second half, I think, too.
It was a lot of the second
It
half.
was.
And going back to the Ohio State game, we gave up the same exact amount of yards per carry as we did against Duke. So, and I know Dennis and I have been talking about it all year. Tackling is obviously an issue. It was a little bit better this week.
Yeah, they missed some tackles this game.
Still missed it, but that's still going to be huge, especially the next couple weeks, because you got obviously Louisville, and then you have USC, and then you have Clemson. So there's teams out there that will still be able to put ground and pound on us too.
I'm gonna just add one little tidbit to that. If you go back and look, at chunk plays that have happened to us, the majority of those times they come when there's a blitz.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
So when we're playing our base defense, we actually do really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's those times where we blitz and either we don't get to the quarterback or we just miss that one tackle, or we blitz and we're out of position and someone gets a long run. The majority of big plays have happened during a blitz.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
He's right. Because it's one play at Ohio State. You take that long run away. That's a game.
You take that 3rd and 19. It was 3rd and 19, and we called a corner blitz with Benjamin Mars.
Right.
And the receiver's running down the middle of the field by himself.
Yeah, right.
And everybody else was 25, 30 yards downfield.
Yeah.
To me, that changed the tone of the game.
Yeah.
If they get 10 yards on that play and it's 4th and 9, I think we stop them.
Yeah.
But you can't give up on 3rd and 19 on their side of the field. You just can't give up 20 some yards.
Right.
You just can't do that.
Nope. That was like that reminds you of the SC game, the 05 game with what's it, Jared going to
Jared.
Right
Yeah.
down the
It just it changes momentum. Momentum means a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you're a player out there and things are going well and you got them in a hole and you're all excited, let's keep doing what we're doing to make that happen.
Right.
We don't need to do something exotic.
Okay, so here you go, Lee. At what point and I'm just doing this because it's the only one, and because again, you're the 93 is my favorite team ever, Notre Dame, best team to never win a national title, even though So obviously it would be the Boston College game. When was that? What was it? The final field goal? Because you knew you were there, or when did you think that or was it them coming back in the second half when you thought, oh shit, we might lose this game?
It wasn't until we came back from 21 down with just over 8 minutes left. And when we scored with a minute and something left, I immediately thought we're going to win this game because our defense had figured it out in the second half.
Okay.
And it wasn't until the dropped interception that I was like, that was our chance.
Okay.
We might lose this game because we didn't capitalize on an opportunity. It's in any sport you play, if you get that opportunity, you've got to capitalize because you don't get many of them. And yeah, once that happened, I was like, they're going to put themselves into position to kick a field goal.
Yep. Yeah. And see, that's what that game, that Ohio State game, that was, you equated the same thing to DJ Brown missing that pick. That was game over.
It's
like,
he scores on that. If he catches it, he scores.
Yeah. Wow.
Right there. All right. So we're about to go to break, and you know what we do before break?
Name
that former Notre Dame player. And I got a good one for Dennis this time. We're doing defensive backs. And this year, Lee, I actually have a multiple choice this year with Dennis. He is, I think, what are you 4-2 this year?
4-2, I think. Yeah.
4-2. So you're doing pretty good. So this one should be a pretty interesting one for you as well. So here we go. You ready?
Sure.
Defensive back, played from 1992 to 1994. Had 134 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 23 breakups. These are your options: Todd Light, Shane Walton, Bobby Taylor, Tom Carter.
Damn. Good one. 92 to
Does
94.
Lee know? That's what I gotta ask.
I'm sure Lee knows.
I don't know. We'll see, but I'm going to say it again. So DB from 92 to 94, 134 tackles, 5 interceptions, 23 breakups. You have Todd Light, Shane Walton, Bobby Taylor, Tom Carter.
I got it.
All right, so we're going to go to break. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds, and we will talk about, obviously, this week's game against Louisville. See if there's another game that we want to pick that we want to watch, which obviously now I have to look at because I forgot about that. And then our score predictions, which I need to obviously put in as well. So I forgot that as also. So stick right here. We got Lee Becton, Dennis Stover. I'm Evan J. Thomas. This is the We Are ND Nation podcast. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the We Are ND Nation podcast. Evan J. Thomas, Dennis Stover, and our special guest, two-time guest, Lee Becton.
Yeah.
So before the break, we did we named that former Notre Dame player. I put like both of them in the stupid rundown. I don't know why I do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the stats of this player. He's a defensive back, played from 92 to 94. 134 tackles, 5 interceptions, 23 breakups. These were Dennis's options: Todd Light, Shane Walton, Bobby Taylor, and Tom Carter. Dennis, go.
The Bobby Taylor.
Lee knew that. Come on, man.
Lee played with him.
Exactly. And not only that, but he was an Eagle. He was a second-round draft pick. I mean,
he did me dirty last year with you, Lee. Because so I had to redeem myself. Remember last year, you were the answer, and I was like, man, why would you do that to me?
Oh yeah.
I did. I haven't done that.
Punking me in front of one of my heroes.
I'm sorry, Dennis. So good. All right. Dennis is 5-2 on the year. I think the multiple choice obviously helps, which is,
hey, that shit's cool. Hard to recall those cats.
I just think it's fun doing this with the multiple choice because it brings in like names like Tom Carter. So there you go.
Well, yeah, they played together.
I know. That's why I was trying to
We all played together.
I almost thought it was Tom Carter. I had to really dwell on that for a second. I think he was gone. I think he was already gone by then.
No.
Like 92, 93.
92.
No, his last year was
92, right?
92.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It should have been 92. I looked it up.
Yeah, because I don't think he was on the 93 team. Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, I tried to get obviously I try to get players that played with our guest, and obviously that kind of worked.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So if you ever have an opportunity to help us get Bobby Taylor or any of these guys on, please do. We always like to do that.
All right.
Throwing it out there. So we got a good game this weekend. I don't know if they just purposely put Louisville number 25 just because, but they are undefeated. We are going to Louisville to play them.
Of course
Notre Dame is a 6.5 point favorite. So what are we expecting from this week? Because we got obviously undefeated versus a 5-1 team. Lee, I'll start with you. What are you thinking is going to be happening this week?
I think Notre Dame wins with a score of 31.
You're going prediction already.
Whoa. Okay. I think we're gonna play well. They actually have a really good defense. Louisville does. But I think we're going to get back to where we're truly going to get a lot more focus on our ground game. I mean, we've got a stable of running backs where we should be able to control the clock. make people come up so that we can then push the ball down the field to some of these receivers that we have. So that's how I think the game is going to go. And defensively, we bend a little bit, but we don't break. And I think we're going to see the same thing this week.
Okay. Like I said, we'll get to our predictions here in a little bit. Dennis, what are you looking at this week?
I would like to see it because, I don't want them to be. Do they have a bye week after Louisville?
No, after USC.
After you, so I'm a little one thing, and I mentioned that in our first week game, and this game, then I picked them to lose because I was just not sure where we'd be as a team collectively. Obviously, my feelings have changed since then. I expect them. This could be the game where they play. If they're not looking ahead to SC and they're playing just 1 week at a time, then this could be the game where they might play 4 quarters like a complete football. And which would be really nice to see then going into SC because they didn't lose to Ohio State twice this year like we did last year. They survived the knockout punch or whatever metaphor you want to put to it of Duke. And, they got out of their own way because they could have easily let that game go. I think we'll have some people back from injury, and I could not agree with Lee more. Jeremiah Love, Audric Estime, Jabrain, all of them, get them all in there because they all move the ball forward. They don't lose yards. And then because it'll help Sam in the passing game. They were doing that early on against lesser opponents. I don't see why they can't do it against. Ohio State, they're not as scary as we thought they were, right? They're really not. And what I take more of that is not Ohio State is down. It's like Notre Dame is good. I would argue and feel confidently with anybody that we do have the best offensive line in the country. I'm not saying we're the best team, but that offensive line is really good. He doesn't get sacked.
I was going to say, I think
they don't even get tackles for loss that much in the backfield. Joe Alt hasn't given up it's absurd. They're really good. So yeah, lean on them. We should have at least 100-yard rusher every game, if not multiple 100-yard rushers. I know you can't score 50 every game, but it's just, we can try.
We got to make sure number 52 doesn't have the yips like you did in the beginning of this past.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
please clean up those penalties because I just that to me it falls on the coaching staff, and that's what one of the reasons why I thought they'd be 9-3 is because they're going to have some coaching letdowns, and albeit outside of that final drive to Ohio State, the coaching staff has looked pretty good. But a lot of those penalties, it's like, how do you not practice for crowd noise? It's college game day at Duke, the first time ever. It's good. Those kids are going to be losing their mind. They already beat Clemson. They're on top of the world. How do you not practice for that? I don't understand. So clean up the penalties.
It was loud.
Right.
Well, you were there.
I
That's
see.
right.
Yeah.
How bad or how rough was it?
It was loud, but I think Dennis said it perfectly. You got to expect that. It's a small stadium, so the crowd is actually a lot closer to you than, when you're at these larger venues. So, and all the hype that was around the game, everybody thought Duke was going to be a pushover. And I told people, I was like, I've watched them play. They're actually a pretty good football team. So, and if their quarterback comes back, they're still going to make some noise in the ACC. Like, people better be, not penciling a W if they play Duke like they have in the past, because they're a really good football team.
Yeah, I think Elko's a good coach. He's a decent coach.
Well, you were mentioning running game. That's kind of what I'm looking. This is obviously, yes, we're playing an undefeated Louisville at Louisville. Next week we have USC. It is kind of a ramp up game, so kind of let's see what we can do and kind of get everything together. Looking at the running backs, like you just said, so the last 2 weeks, Jeremiah Love had 8.8 yards per carry last week. Week before, I think he was like 8.1. So he's moving that ball like crazy. Obviously, you have Estime. He's averaging 7.1 yards per carry on the season, and over almost 700 yards already on the ground. So yeah, utilize that offensive line, just bury them early, and then you're going to have the 2 freshman wide receivers back, or at least the 2 wide receivers that were out. You're going to have them back and utilize everybody that they were doing in the first couple games, because Dennis and I were going over it. They were throwing at 8, 9, 13 receivers in games. Last week, they had 5 catches from 5 different wide receivers. That was it. 5 different receivers. Get that ball around more, utilize those guys. Like you said, Holden Stays needs to kind of be a little bit more involved as well. But utilize the running game to get to the passing game. That's just the way Notre Dame needs to do it, and do the same thing against USC. So when we get to that, we'll get to that.
Man, that game, the spoiled children, is
that's
really
going to be
to me.
that's going to be a fun one, man. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I can handle that one yet.
Predictions?
Well, let's pick another game of the week.
Oh, okay.
We're going to watch, other than obviously Notre Dame and Louisville. I'll start with Dennis. What do you have on your docket?
I'm thinking that Kentucky-Georgia game might be pretty good.
Kentucky's 24?
I don't know, somewhere. They should be higher if you ask me, but
Thought I just saw that.
they're pretty good, I think. I don't know if they'll beat Georgia, but I think it'll be a good game. I mean, this season's proven it's one of those seasons where it's not Georgia of the last 2 years, like this super juggernaut. I mean, they're really good, but they have a younger quarterback, and obviously the Red River rivalry. I mean, the 2 teams, I hate to say it, but it might be like come down to Michigan and Texas. I mean, that'd be crazy to me.
So looking at Kentucky undefeated and ranked number 20, and then they're at Georgia. So that to me would be a tough one. Lee, do you have any other games you're possibly looking at that you want to see?
Yeah, that Red River rivalry.
Yeah,
Texas looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
And but when those 2 play, you just throw everything out the door.
Right.
You throw records, you throw everything out the door, and I think it's going to be a good game. I think Oklahoma is going to actually be able to, stay with with Texas, and it's going to be a fun one to watch.
And that's on at noon, so yeah, we get
that'll be my game too. So yeah, it's noon, the big noon game. And they actually call it the All-State Red River rivalry now. So you see they have the
they got some sponsor dollars.
You got the sponsor dollars on that.
Wow. Get ready, it's coming. It's coming, man.
Obviously, that's going to be my game. I'm going to do my pick of the Notre Dame Louisville first. I'll go with the score. Notre Dame winning. I'm going to have them back into the 40-point range. 40-20 Notre Dame wins. Dennis, have you go next.
Let's go. I'll say they'll be right under 40. But I think the defense might get him. This Jake Plummer. I think we played him before when he was at Purdue or something, maybe.
And okay, so I was going to say he is a transfer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did play. But
his stats, I mean, he's 6 interceptions and only 65% completion. I mean, I guess it's not so bad, but 38-17.
Okay. Not bad.
Maybe not even 17, but yeah. It's at home for Louisville.
I think Louisville is going to get like a late scrappy touchdown and crap time. Lee, what are you looking at score wise? I know you almost gave it earlier, but let's do it now.
Yeah. 31-17.
Nice.
17. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll take it.
I'm hoping
maybe we'll have some gaudy yards in some category, but something. Yeah.
All right. So we look like we're going to have some fun this weekend. Hopefully Notre Dame wins. Obviously, all 3 of us have them winning. And then, baby, the big one next week.
Oh, man. Should we talk about that one a little bit since we got Lee?
Go for it. What do you think? Yeah, let's go.
We got
Lee
SC
here.
team, Lee?
If
you got a minute, I mean, obviously, we all thought that their defense may be a little bit improved, but it's not because for Colorado, they can't block tackling dummies. I mean, a blocking sled, because that line is so thin, and Sanders is pretty special. I mean, for them to be able to only lose by a touchdown.
Yeah. And come back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, they were getting waxed, and then all of a sudden just, I don't know if it's something that they just, the players got lazy and took them for granted, or if the coach, I don't know, but it's, Lincoln Riley still doesn't know a thing about defense. And it's making me a little, I mean, they're still a really good team, but I'm not as scared as I was before. So I don't know. What do you think, Lee?
Yeah, I'm not scared of them at all.
Yeah.
I think our defense will do enough to contain Williams. I think the most important thing is keeping him in the pocket. He will kill you when he gets out the pocket and he's able to get first downs with his legs and different things like that, which then causes the defense to contract up at certain times. And they still got playmakers that can go over the top. I do believe our secondary is, as a unit, they're
really good.
They're really good.
Yeah,
they are really good. So I'm not worried about that. Long as we keep him in the pocket, and we're going to score points.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to score points.
And I see us stopping them more than they would stopping us.
Yes.
Like, I don't think it has to be a 51-50 game. You know, I think we might be able to win.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I believe they are their offense is going to play to our strengths, which is our secondary. That's one of the strengths of our team, and they're still going to try to throw the ball on us.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to work.
Well, because they figure if they have a blowout, you know, he's immediately Heisman Trophy winner, and I'm sure that's all they're playing for. Because I don't think they're a playoff team. I mean, yeah, I not from what I've seen.
I'm kind of shocked that USC actually has a game this week, because usually they have a
bye week before they play us.
But they're playing Arizona at home, so maybe.
You sure that ain't a bye week?
I'm looking right now. Oh crap! Was that last week? No, I'm looking at week 6.
No, I was joking. I was saying they're playing Arizona. Who's not playing? They're just not playing real well right now.
No, it's true.
Well, Michigan's had like 5 bye weeks, so do we even have to talk
correct?
About that? I mean, crap.
Hey, okay. Here's another question then, Lee. I mean, Michigan, they're really good, are they? Aren't they? I mean, they're good.
I don't know. Have you not looked at their schedule?
I mean, yes, we all knew that they were going to have a terrible schedule and a weak schedule, but I mean, okay.
I mean, they do play Penn State coming up, and then
I know they haven't played anybody yet. I get that. But I mean, if they line up, if they could beat. If they play Georgia tomorrow, don't you think Michigan would beat Georgia?
I don't.
No? Okay. All right.
No.
Okay.
I'm looking at Michigan's games. They don't.
Name them off.
Let's see. They've already
played them. IU played them close.
Hold on. Here we go. East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska. Those are the first 5. Then they have now this week Minnesota, at home against Indiana, at Michigan State, at home against Purdue, at Penn State. That to me,
that's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a good game, and also then at Maryland the week after, who's currently undefeated, and then at home against Ohio State. So they have 3 games.
They have 3 games really
at the end, though.
Which is going to tell who they are.
Right.
Those 3 games are going to be the ones that tell who they are.
Right.
So they'll be like 8-0 going into the Penn State game, and then see if they get waxed. But Penn State's been
Penn State's pretty good, man.
They
might be. They. I mean, the Big Ten's only got 3 teams this year, though. The Big Ten's weaker than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just
Michigan,
3
Ohio
teams,
State,
and you could argue it's Ohio State's the 3rd best team,
and then Maryland would be 4th.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's nobody out of the West. The West is.
Well, yeah. Any other teams you see possibly moving up into the top 4 this year, Lee, besides obviously the ones we just kind of talked about?
you know, you can't not pay attention to Washington
Yeah, I like that team.
and what they're doing out there. They can put Penix Jr. is playing lights out.
I think he's better than Williams, but that's just me.
He's playing very well. So, granted, the Pac-12 is probably one of the better conferences right now, top to bottom. Right now.
Yeah.
So they still got some people they've got to get through, but it wouldn't be shocking for me for them to make it into that top four.
Wow. Okay. Then win the Pac-12, yeah.
What about Florida State or Oregon? Because Oregon, they're pretty damn good too. I'd say they're right there, even better.
Or Oregon, Florida State. I can't remember their schedule, but I think that they still got Duke and Clemson
they play
and Carolina.
Miami?
Duke at home. Florida State's at home against Duke. At home against Miami too, and then at Florida. So those are those games.
Yeah.
And Oregon, let's see, they got USC after next week. No, that's the 11th of November. I don't know what I was looking at. Yeah, Washington. Holy crap. That's actually this week. No, 2 weeks. 14th. Sorry.
14th.
Oregon, Washington. So right there, you got 8 and 7. That's my game of the week next week.
Calling it already.
Besides Notre Dame.
Man, next week is going to be bananas. Then you have Notre Dame, SC, Oregon, Washington. I'm sure there's some big banger in the SEC. Wow.
Yeah, there's
Well, next week will be fun. I'll be stressed out.
Teams on their line.
I got to tell you, I wish we could get back to a day game because the anticipation of waiting for these 7:30 games. I'm a nervous wreck. You'd think I'd be smoking like a carton of cigarettes and drinking 80 cases of beer or something like that.
Well, and then Lee was there. So how does that kind of work? I mean, are you tailgating at 9 a.m. like a normal day?
I am not. That's way too long of a day. No, I'm not going out till, I think I didn't go out tailgating till like 1 o'clock or something like that.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that guy that has to be there at like 8 o'clock and I'm walking around, nobody's there. I'm like, what the hell? Why isn't anybody here? Well, game's not for another 10 hours.
Now, when I do a tailgate, I'm there at 8 a.m. But if I'm just going, nope. I can wait.
Yeah, that's true. Because you weren't at home, obviously, for this past game.
Evan, if I get some good news this week, and if I do, I'm going to make the move for the Wake Forest game. And I'll come in like Thursday or what. I'll crash with my sister, and then we can go Saturday.
Cool.
All right.
You do that, and obviously Lee will probably be at that game too. So
so then I can
absolutely
I'll bring Heather. Heather will come out. We could all have a nice little.
Because that's the last home game of the season, right? That's what I'm going to try for.
The Wake Forest game. It should be. Yeah, that's senior day.
I should be able to get a ticket. So I'll just look into airfare.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, again, another great show in the books. This was episode number 8 of season 4. Wow.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This is Dennis's second.
My second season. So congratulations to Evan for the 4.
For trying to carry Malik Zaire for the first 2 years. So, that's what happens. He was great. I liked having Malik on. He was really good with his ideas. But yeah, awesome that we're doing this. We're going to have a banger of a game this weekend, but then obviously we got the big one coming up in a week. But I just got to thank Dennis as always for being there, knowing his shit, because that's what he does. Obviously, our guest, Lee Becton.
Yeah, Lee.
Who's amazing. He has one of the best tailgates I've ever seen. And the spread that you have, oh my God, that liquor when I saw you was like, I think I took like 3 shots of whatever the hell was laying there, and it was amazing. So yeah, you guys are amazing.
I try not to disappoint.
You definitely don't.
Never have.
Man, so it was a lot of fun. Lee, do you have anything you want to plug or promote before we call this a day?
No, I'm just happy that you guys had me on, and anytime, I enjoy chit-chatting with you guys and talking football. So anytime you guys want to have me on, just let me know. It's been great.
Love
And
it.
obviously, if Dennis comes here for the Wake Forest game and it's not too cold out, we're going to try to have you as a live thing together. So that would be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool.
Sounds good to me.
We'll
Yeah,
see if
that'd
we
be
can set
fantastic.
something up for that and then go from there. So again, for Dennis Stover, whoa, I just dropped my light. Lee Becton, Evan J. Thomas. This is the We Are ND Nation podcast. You can find us all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our show is on YouTube and College Football Dogs. Don't forget
Football
those.
Dogs and Spotify, right?
And Spotify. So we're all
Wow.
over the place. So definitely check
Awesome.
us out. And our website, wearendnation.com. So we are there. And again, thank you. And until next week, go Irish.
Go
Dennis?
Irish.
Go Irish.
And fuck the University of Spoiled Children. We're coming for your ass.
Oh my
I
God.
love it.
Uh,